I do expect more from this fourth movie in the series. Now, not to say that Despicable Me 3 is an abysmal movie. This is not a terrible movie. I'm not going to sit here and say this is one of the worst things ever.
Hello!
Welcome back,
Epictastic people!
my Epictastic people! This is Epictastic Joshua!
Okay, I'm serious. I'm not gonna talk like a minion throughout the whole video. Welcome back to Epictastic Joshua. You guys, I talk movies, TV, music, and anime. For all of my returning subscribers, you know who I am. But for the small 8 to 6% of you, welcome. My name is Joshua Drake, and we are here to talk about the latest movie in the Despicable Me franchise, the fourth main entry into it, and the sixth overall Despicable Me franchise, Despicable Me 4. This is directed by Renaud and Patrick Delage, and his directorial debut for the latter. This is written by Mike White and Ken Daurio, who's wrote stuff like Horton Hills or Who and The Lorax and a few other things. This stars Steve Carell, Kristen Wiig, Pierre Coffin, Joey Keane, Miranda Cosgrove, Stephen Coogan, Sofia Vergara, Chris Renaud, Madison Poland, Dana Gar, Chloe Fineman, Stephen Colbert, and Will Ferrell. Gru once again, as Gru and his family. This time around, he welcomes a new member to the family, Gru Jr., who's intent on tormenting his dad. However, their peaceful existence soon comes crashing down when criminal mastermind Maxime Le Mal escapes prison and vows revenge against Gru. When it comes to the Despicable Me franchise, I've enjoyed most of these Despicable Me movies, most and none. I really loved the first one. The first one was a big surprise that came out of nowhere for a lot of us. Despicable Me 2 is my favorite of the series, of course. Despicable Me 3 is the weakest in the series, but I thought it was a still pretty good way to go out, and I thought it was entertaining. As for the Minions side of things, I liked The Rise of Gru, but Minions is a very complicated movie because there's parts of me that likes it, and there's parts of me that there's things in there that kind of frustrates me in terms of what it is. And it kind of solidifies the fact that the Minions are better as supporting characters. And as far as Illumination goes, they have a pretty hit and miss track record. I like some of their stuff, like a few Despicable Me movies. I also thought Migration recently, which I didn't see last year, I thought was fine. There's also stuff like Sing and such I actually like. But what I really like besides the Despicable Me movies is I love the Super Mario Brothers movie from 2023, and I was looking forward to this and hoping this, if nothing else, this will be at least the same level of enjoyment value as this movie or as the first three Despicable Me movies. But there was also a part of me going into this that was a little skeptical, because it is another Despicable Me movie. It is got the Minions again, and it's another Illumination movie. And with Illumination, you're either going to get them on their best day or you're going to get them on their worst day, like Hop and such. But having seen this is what I'll say about Despicable Me 4. It's a pretty entertaining, decent entry into the series. But you can definitely tell, honestly, even if you are a big diehard fan of this, that this series is kind of starting to reach its end, and they're starting to run out of things to do. And considering the fact that we just had Inside Out 2 and stuff like anime movies last year, like Across the Spider-Verse, Elemental, and The Boy and the Heron, which I still haven't seen, by the way, even Elemental to a certain extent, I do expect more from this fourth movie in the series. Now, not to say that Despicable Me 3 is an abysmal movie. This is not a terrible movie. I'm not going to sit here and say this is one of the worst things ever. I'm just one of those people, I did mostly enjoy it, but I'm starting to feel a little bit of the minions exhaustion a little bit. But I did mostly had a fun time with this. I will say for the things that I didn't really care for, because I want to get the things that conflicts me and makes it such a complicated movie for me. The kids of Gru in this, compared to the first three movies, gets heavily underutilized. The characters of Margot and Edith, and then you had Agnes, of course, which are the daughters of Gru and Lucy. Brenda Cosgrove and Denegar and Madison Paulin still does a pretty good job in the movie. I just felt like they don't really have much to do in this movie, and I felt like they didn't really get a lot more as I felt like they should have go to in this. I felt like they're just here, but they kind of don't get a lot of focus here, and I felt like that's a big of a disappointment when you come to it, because they have played a pretty big part in the first three Despicable Me movies until now, and that's one of the most disappointing things, because you do love those characters as much as Gru and the minions, of course. Some of the dialogue in this movie, especially from the minions, while a lot of it did make me laugh, there was most of it in this movie that I was just sitting here kind of just rolling my eyes and kind of just really this again. I wasn't really angry or have an extreme negative reaction. I just thought that some of the comedy this time around didn't really land, unfortunately. And that's kind of sad, because the number one thing you come into when it comes to the Despicable Me movie is some of the comedy. You expect a lot of comedy to make you laugh heavily, and to tell you the truth, it did make me laugh. I did enjoy most of the comedy, so I will give credit to where credit is due, but it's just some of this humor was not really working a lot for me at times, especially some references towards Marvel, which one of them I found very funny, but then they pulled this whole X-Men related Marvel joke, which I was not really finding funny. I found the Fantastic Four kind of reference a lot more funnier.
Hell are you? No! No! No!
It feels like the premise and the plot, there is a lot going on here. It's not to the point of convolution or such. It doesn't really feel convoluted. I just really felt like there is a lot of it where it feels very overstuffed in places. You have these characters having to be the mega minions. Then you also have these characters who are trying to be these crazy cats and trying to have hidden identities and such. Then you have Maxim and his Valentina femme fatale girlfriend, which we'll get to her. And also we have this whole CIA drama and the new villain stuff that I felt like either was rushed or didn't really get fully fleshed out in there. Then we have this whole Poppy character who's pretty much a mix of three different characters here. She's pretty much a mix of Pippi Longstocking, Lisa Lau from the Lau House, and kind of a fake ass wannabe version of Karen Gillan. No disrespect to Karen Gillan or to Joey Keane, because I do like both of them, but that's what it just felt like to me. I was watching a discount version of an actress I actually really admire, even though this actress playing Poppy I do like, and I do like in things. It's just those parts of the movie I felt like really kind of brought this movie down for me personally. However, there's still a lot of things in this movie I am able to compliment. There are some moments here that still made me laugh. I did get a kick out of the Mega Minions for the most part, despite my feelings on that. Not making me laugh halfway, only half of it did. I will also say the animation is still beautiful. It is Illumination, and that's one of the things I do think they are improving on, is the animation with each movie they've done. The animation still looks really good for a movie like this, so I will definitely give you credit to where credit is due. The animation does look good here. There were some moments I did laugh. I did have fun. I did enjoy myself. I did get a good time out of this. So I will say the movie did mostly do its job for 50% of it. Just the other 50% of the humor wasn't really sticking with me. I feel like it's kind of, we pretty much done everything you could with the minions here. But some of it was still funny, despite most of it not making me 100% laugh. I will also say the returning cast is still very good in this. Steve Carell still has it as Gru. I still very much love Kristen Wiig's voice, and her as an actress is Lucy Wilde. Miranda Cosgrove is still good here. Madison Poland, Dana Geyer, of course. You also have Stephen Colbert and Chloe Fineman as the parents of Poppy. They do pretty good for what they have. There's a lot of SNL actors here, so I gotta give them credit to where credit is due. They do make it funny, so I gotta give them credit. Will Ferrell as Maxime Le Mal. He does have a crazy French accent who seeks revenge on Gru and his family. Again, I feel like his plan was kind of wasted, and I wish they did more with him. Or just had Poppy be the main villain, of course. That would have been a lot more interesting. But I will say Will Ferrell does fine. So Sofia Vergara, she was okay as Valentina. Every time I see Sofia Vergara in something, I'm just very indifferent on her. Because she is a beautiful woman, but she also has her movies or projects where I either really enjoy her or I get a little annoyed by her. This is kind of a mix of both here. Joey Keane, however, is the conflicting part, because at first I was having trouble enjoying her character because she is a wannabe aspiring supervillain, of course, and she's admired Gru, and she was getting on my nerves a lot here. Again, trying to put on her fake imitation of Karen Gillan, which, again, no disrespect to Karen or to Joey Keane. Both are good actresses. Even in the not so good projects they do, they will commit. But there was a moment for the first couple minutes with her, I was annoyed as hell with her. But as we kept going, she was also entertaining and starting to grow on me, especially towards the end. That being said, she did do good in the movie, so I will give credit to where credit is due when it comes to her. I do want to see her continue to do more stuff like The Act, which she was good as Gypsy Rose, or something like that Hulu miniseries she did I heard was good, and also Bullet Train and The Princess. But it's good to see that she is committed to what she is getting. I'll say the soundtrack and songs are still very good as well. So Pharrell and the music composer Hector Pereira still does a very good job in this. And also Baby Gru, while he is not anywhere near Baby Yoda or Baby Groot, I'll tell you that much, he is adorable, and he did have his moments. Overall, Despicable Me 4, I did not hate this, okay? I just thought this was an enjoyable enough film in the Despicable Me franchise, but it's nothing more than that, especially when we compare it to the first three movies, or even something like Minions 2 or Super Mario Brothers, the movie, which was last year. Which this movie definitely has its high highs, but it also has its extreme low lows. But I'm starting to feel there's not much more left to Gru or the Minions and its characters. If this is the last one, even though it's doing very well right now, and they're probably going to make at least a billion more of these, but if this is the last one, I think this will be a good place to stop the series, because there's not really much more you can tell with this. But overall, I did enjoy this. It's perfectly entertaining, but as someone who liked the first three movies, I did expect a lot more of this. But I will say, if you want something to take your kids, and also for you adults to enjoy, you could definitely take them to this. But otherwise, I would say just go take them to Inside Out 2. But I will say, this is a movie I did like more than I didn't like. So it's a conflicting movie that I can watch. It's just my issues with the movie are there. But I will be lying if I said I didn't at least have some fun. I did enjoy this to a certain extent. Well, that's gonna do it for the video that you just watched. If you want to see more, my channel icon is up here. If you want to see more content from me, all my social medias are right here in this end card. I will also leave a playlist and a video here for you to see what the channel is about. As always, acknowledge me, stay epictastic, join the Epictasticness, and you guys keep it cool.